RE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way, dash THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. Um, one, oh, shoot. Welcome to Jeep Talk, episode, I believe it's 62. I might have to change it because we getting up there in the numbers. Welcome to Jeep Talk, episode 62. What you consume, you become. This is one of like the oldest sayings or oldest quotes that, as for me as a black person, my family always, to my grandfather, not so much my mother per se, but my grandfather and my uncles and stuff, they always taught me, and my grandmothers too. They always taught me. They say, what you consume, you become. And this is the way they said it, because you are what you eat is the way that I would interpret it to be. You are what you eat. But you know, the older folks, they always spoke differently. They say, what you consume, you become. And that is across all borders. That's across all borders. If I eat all junk food, there's a likeliness that I will become fat. Because junk food, without proper exercise, and even sometimes with proper exercise, will cause you to become junk, fat. If all I consume is drama TV, then subconsciously what I become is a drama-filled person. Now, whether it's a good or bad thing, you can leave that. People can argue that for their own, conveniences. But what you consume, you become. Shout out to Free Society in the building. What up, what up? Shout out to you still out in Thailand. I am so happy I learned this at such a young age. Because some people would say, well, you are the representation of the people you're around, the top 5 people you're around. But I spent most of my time alone. I spent most of my time by myself because I like to, move my way. And when you spend most of your time by yourself, you don't become the 5 people you're around. You become what you consume. So I always stay in tune with financial podcasts. I always stay in tune with just all general stuff, like different parts of what's going on in different countries, what's going on in different people's lives, different stuff, what's going on around the whole thing. But I also focus more of my time on consuming stuff that will help me and build the future that I want. Not stuff that will consistently keep that dopamine in my system of keeping me entertained or keeping me in the mix with other people that may be in the same field I'm in or a similar field. I feel like a lot of people's parents didn't tell them this, or a lot of people didn't listen. Because if every morning I wake up and the first thing I think is I want to turn on TMZ, I want to turn on this news station, I want to go on to a website or a YouTube channel where they consistently talk about other people instead of giving ways where you can progress in the future, then it's most likely that I will become what I'm consuming. I will become as drama-filled as I consume. Now, it's a good thing or a bad thing. It relatively is up to you. It's up to you whether that's a good or a bad thing. But for me, that is a horrible thing. And I would feel miserable feeling as though every single morning or every single night before I go to bed, what I consume is me or other people talking about other people instead of consuming something that can increase the benefit of my life. Like, how can I move my finances better? How can I become a better dad? How can I become a better content creator? How can I become a better traveler or a more diverse traveler? How can I become a better musician? How can I become a better basketball player? We are living. What's going on, Mr. T? We are living in an environment where I think a lot of the teachings that our parents, as millennials, our parents or our grandparents gave us are no longer being passed down or weren't passed down from everybody's family. That's another thing. Everybody's family is different. But we are what we consume. If you're just walking in, this is Jeep Talk episode 62. What you consume, you become. So if every morning you wake up, you're consuming people talking about other people with no, oh, there's a deer over here. That's crazy. And the deer got rabies or something. Wow. If every morning you wake up and what you consume is drama, then how can you grow to be a better person? Will the dopamine be enough for you to survive? Yeah, of course. Will it give you that thrill to keep going? That entertainment? Yes. But I would challenge people that if you want to have a more quality life, what I consider at least, with a more quality life, then every morning you wake up, listen to something that can help you out. For example, I started listening to Minority Mindset a while back. It's a podcast I should have mentioned when I was on another interview, but I started listening to Minority Mindset a while back. And while all this stuff I don't agree with, because, you know, the guy's lifestyle is different, he has a lot of points that I say, hey, I understand it, and I think that could work. And it's stuff that, you know, like shout out to TaylorMade. With TaylorMade, you just say, you pause, chew the meat, spit out the bones. Whatever works for me, I take out of it. Whatever doesn't, I don't. But it's because I choose to consume stuff that I have an idea can better me and or direct me into a life that I want to go. I'm learning right now. Currently, I'm learning about the Atlanta landscape, the landscape of Atlanta and the surrounding areas, because I want to purchase a property in Atlanta. I have an idea to purchase a property in Atlanta because I like the idea of having land at the price that it's going for right now. But before I can go purchase that property, I need to go consume something to help me learn it. I have friends who live in Atlanta. I call them, I talk to them, I consume the information they give me. I look online, what areas are bad, what areas are crime ridden, what kind of crime. I consume that information. But if I wake up in the morning and I'm more concerned with consuming something that's going to give me that dopamine, like, oh, look at these guys fighting on the internet, or look at these guys arguing on the internet, then I don't go further, and I do nothing but push myself back. It's just, I don't think everybody's parents, and that's the only thing I can lead it on, gave them the quote that you consume what you become, or you become what you consume. I don't think everybody's parents say you are what you eat. I don't even know anybody, not even their parents, I don't even know if anybody even learned or heard about that phrase anymore. Because people will spend 5, 6, 7 hours on stuff and watch stuff. And of course, I always have to, as a person who creates content, I have to know the environment that is around me. But I know how much time that I can give something before I know, hey, this is a waste. This is not going to improve. Now, you have to be in the know. So, yes, sometimes you will have to consume, and I'm going to get you a comment, y'all. Shout out to Rock Block in the building. Sometimes you do have to consume stuff that may be there so that you can be in the know. But every day? But an hour, 30 minutes? 2 hours? 3 hours? I feel like if it doesn't change the people today, the messages that I have on this Jeep Talk can educate the people who come after me or who come after us, for them to understand there's another way, and there's a more productive way to reach the goals you want to reach. Because I feel as though that's everybody's idea. Everybody's idea in life is they want to reach the goals they can. I think that's what everybody wants to do. I could be wrong. Maybe some people just don't want nothing out of life. But I think everyone's desire on earth is to achieve some type of goal, or to achieve some type of goal, whether it's the way they want to live, whether it's how many kids they want, where they want to go, whether they want. And in order to achieve this goal, you need to figure out ways from other people who have achieved this goal. But if you spend most of your time watching something that doesn't help you achieve that goal, when you don't achieve that goal, you cannot then turn around and blame the world. You cannot then turn around and blame society or say, oh my God, these people are so wrong because Donald Trump is doing this and the Republicans did this or the Democrats did this. You can't then turn that around because what you're consuming is not helping you achieve your goal. That's not how life works. You are 100% responsible for what happens in your life. And you know why I say that? Because you don't control what happens to you, but you control how you react. 100%. So how you react will determine what happens to you in life. A lot of people wasn't getting paid a lot of people weren't getting paid during the government shutdown here in the United States. I know that there's other people watching me from all over, so I'm going to say here in the United States. A lot of people weren't getting paid for the government shutdown. I can almost bet that at least 90% of those people did not try to find a solution to how they can get paid if they lose their job. Or how they can get paid if the government shutdown happens again and they don't get their checks. I bet you what they consumed was what's happening right now. Something they couldn't control. They consumed, when is this government shutdown going to be over? Who's making this government? The Republicans, the Democrats. That's what they consumed. And they became the stress that came with that. Versus consuming, how can I make sure this never happens again? How can I set my life to make sure I don't have to depend on SNAP benefits for this to happen again? Or how can I set my life to make sure that if this happens again, I will be able to cover myself because I have a side hustle, or I have a second job, or I have investments that will get me through these hard times because maybe I do love my government job. No, they weren't going online. I can almost tell you, they weren't going online to consume what information could have helped them out. They were going online probably to consume stuff that kept their minds busy so that they could get through the time until somebody figured it out for them. You become what you consume. A long time ago, I used to do live videos all the time, and I started doing live videos again because I feel as though there has to be somebody to speak out on it. But every single one of my live videos that I've ever done has been on something that I think can help people grow, or something that will help me in the future grow, or something that is to teach somebody. I don't just go live to go live because here's the thing. I don't go live, and there's nothing wrong with this. It's not me knocking anybody. I don't just go live on YouTube to kick shit and just have fun with you guys, because I feel as though that could be a waste of time. If I'm not giving you any valid information that can help you, or something that I'm learning, or something that can help me, then what I'm doing is that I'm just giving you the dopamine to keep you entertained. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just giving you the dopamine to keep you entertained. I'm a clown. I'm here for your entertainment. That's how I see it. It doesn't mean how everybody else has to see it, but that's how I see it. If I'm just coming on live so we can kick it, we can chat, we can talk. Yes, that may help people. There are some people who feel like, oh my God, I just want somebody I can listen to, talk to, somebody I can be a part of. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't want you guys to think there's anything wrong with that. But you have to understand what comes with that. What comes with that is that you are what you consume. So if you're consuming somebody who just brings you the dopamine to make you feel better about your life, or to make you feel better about the position that you're in, or to give you something to laugh about because it's something that happened to somebody else, then that's what you're going to become. You're going to become that same I don't want to say gossip. That same wow, come on, man. That same person who's out there spending their time entertaining people or talking about other people's lives, how does that help you progress? How does that help you progress? I'm gonna get your comments down, but right before we get to the hills, but it's gonna get kind of choppy. All right. Let me see. 1 second, y'all. Rock says, you got that shaking hands, or you got that offer to shaking hands with the girls, in Colombia. I wanted to do it last night, but the space would throw me. Here's the thing. A lot of people, they don't want to be the second, they don't want to be the third to do something. But the only reason why I did that is not because I've seen it before, because I've seen people dapping them up before, but I didn't think that dap was a long enough, so I changed up a little bit. But the issue was, I wanted to show the women in the light that I could show them, and would not like, nothing wrong with it, but I didn't want to sneak record them. I didn't want to show them talking about something crazy. I wanted them to be able to see the video, like some of them have, and even commented, and be like, yo, I'm proud that I did that video, because the way he put that video together paints me in a good light. And to me, that's one thing about my brand, as far as my content brand, as far as my lifestyle brand, travel brand, whatever. I want people to be painted in a light where they can feel proud of it. A lot of women that was in that video, who I never even got their number or anything, they started hitting me up on Instagram and said, thank you for making that video. Well, not in English, most of them were Spanish. Or that's me, I'm number one girl, she even commented on the post. She was like, I'm the second girl on the video. I was like, oh snap. And she was proud to be in that video. She shared it with a friend, she shared it with her family. That's the type of content I like making, because that's the type of content that'll go around forever. That content's still going viral on Instagram, but again, I didn't make it to go viral. I made it to really share with the world the beauty of the women in Cali, Colombia during Petronio Alvarez, and the kindness and the personalities. And I think I was able to do all that with just a handshake. A lot of them I never even said nothing. Some of them, maybe I got the number. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. But I wouldn't record that part. And the reason why I wouldn't record that part is because you don't know if a girl has a boyfriend. You don't know if a girl's in a situation right now. So just a handshake doesn't do nothing. So that's why I did the handshake thing, man. So don't be afraid to do it. I mean, again, I don't have that copyright. I mean, it's not the Black Man Guide to World Travel. That's copyright. Let me see. Salute. What's going on, Rock the Block? Rocky. Hit the like button. I appreciate it, man. Listen, I just do these. I don't really care about the likes or the comments on these videos, like the Jeep Talk. Well, most of my videos I don't. Actually, all of them I don't. But the Jeep Talks especially, because it's a necessary conversation that needs to be had. And a lot of times, people they think I'm making it just for the people. A lot of times I make this for myself. I go back and I watch these videos. Sometimes I clip them up, and there be a major point that I need to get across. And you guys know, if you guys don't know, during these Jeep Talks, if you're watching it in the future, you're not going to see these cuts, but it always cuts during this time when I'm going through the hills and stuff. I see the hills in the background, right? Again, I'm back, y'all. We got about like 2 more minutes before it clears up finally, but right now we're just going through the hills still. Chicken Burrito says, I see what you're saying. Yeah, man, that's just the way it works, man. And again, this is not me saying that it's bad stuff. It's not me saying that you shouldn't do it. It's just me telling people that, hey, you are what you consume. And if you're consistently consuming drama on the internet, if you're consistently consuming it, like that's an everyday thing, you become the quote-unquote clown entertainer that's here to entertain people. You can't get mad if that's who you become, if that's what you consume all the time. And I think, like you said, I don't know. We almost do. Bear with me. Sometimes the decent, sometimes be horrible. That's the thing about Jeep Talks. It's really here for the audio. I could turn the picture off, but it still will cut out in and out. But let me see. What's up? Rocky says, I'm looking to buy 15 acres in the Carolinas and put solar panels on the farm and build a family. That's dope, man. Again, that's not my thing, but that's super dope. Colombia is still on my thing. If I can't do both, I don't know if I'm gonna do the Atlanta one for me. If I can't do Colombia and the Atlanta acreage, I don't think I'm doing both. I'll just do the Columbia thing. But because of how I've been able to build my wealth and my credit score is over 800, and once I claim my taxes, I should be able to get at least another 100,000 out of my HELOC, which would allow me to do both. Then I would do both. I would get but once I have enough money to do both, I would get the place in Atlanta first, and then I would get the place in Columbia. And the reason why that is because, for those that don't know, and again, this is Jeep Talk episode 62. You become what you consume. So if you guys got any questions or anything, you can ask them as well. But yeah, so that's the reason why I would get the Atlanta place. As long as I got the money to get all of them, the Atlanta place and the Columbia place, I would get the Atlanta place first, only because once I take that money out, it's going to show on my credit that I owe some money, and it would be harder to get the financing for the Atlanta place. But once I get the financing for the Atlanta place, the Columbia place is bought right away, because and if I don't get the financing for the Atlanta place, or I don't find a place in Atlanta I really want to finance for the right price, I'll just go with Columbia, like I said I would. But again, I think I do have the places in, and I know everybody. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger would just say, "Hey, just sit still, let the money build up." But I just got a feeling like that buying some places with some acreage in Atlanta would be alright to have add to my portfolio. I got 9 more years to work, y'all. I got 9 more years to work. So let's see. What's going on, Mil? Flyboy, you're going to be in Barranquilla for Carnival next year? Yeah, that should be. That may be my next trip. The government shutdown just happened. It just ended. So I don't know. Maybe I'll fly out just for a quick weekend. At the end of the month, because I got the Frontier Pass. So maybe I'll fly out somewhere for, I don't know where, for a quick weekend. But honestly, I really wanted to go to Medellin or Barranquilla for the New Year's, but I don't know because I got to be back at work the day after New Year's. So as of now, it does look like Carnival Barranquilla is my next major trip. It looks like Carnival Barranquilla in February is my next major trip. But again, y'all, I gotta do waters in the back. I ain't all the way with the water. Let me get the water real quick. Hold up. Let me get the water real quick. Give me a second. You are what you consume. Consume water, because water is clear. It's healthy. Again, y'all, I try not to hold on a second. One thing I do is I try not to go live and talk to people unless I got something that I think is on my mind that I want to talk about. Because when you make it a scheduled live, right? Let's say I have a show or a podcast where I got to come talk to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now I have to go find something to talk about every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And what happens is that when I have something like that, I end up talking about other people's lives. I end up becoming the person who most people don't want to be. Like, no offense. Shout out to Joe Budden podcast. I used to watch it all the time. I watch it every now and then now also. But I still remember back in the days when Joe Budden used to rap and say he would never be the person who would like talk about other people. A certain amount of money can't create that person. Would I be mad at him? No, I wouldn't, because everybody can change their mind. But me, I've always been that person to say, I'd rather focus on telling you my life experiences because I'm 100% sure of those life experiences than to be a person who focuses on other people's life experiences, which I might not know the whole story. Like, now talking about something that somebody says as far as maybe that could be, but it's tough, man. It's tough, and I don't want to make it seem like a masculine what do you call it? What do you call it? Hyper masculine type thing. When I say, yo, men don't do that. Men don't do that. So I won't say it like that. But I just was raised not to worry about other people's lives and focus on your own life, because the more you consume other people's lives, the more you become like those other people's lives you consume. So I know a lot of people will see people on YouTube. They'll see people on other networks, other stuff, doing like stuff that they probably clown or they laugh at, and then they'll consume that person so much or consume them people so much that in the future they end up doing stuff that that same person would do, because they've consumed so much subconsciously. It's gotten in their mind because they consume that person so much, that person's lifestyle so much, that they end up just becoming that person. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing. I'm just giving you a reality talk on how things happen. Mr. T says, Flyboy gotta tap in with the Hoteps. Joe Button, go vibration, dude. Again, I don't really like lean towards any affiliation with anybody, and I think that's what makes me a little bit different. I'm not saying it makes me different for everybody, but it makes me a little bit different, because when I give people a thought, it's never like lean towards anything. I'm not Republican, I'm not Democratic, I'm not a Hotep, I'm not a Israelite, I'm not a Christian, I'm not a Catholic, I'm not an Islamic, I'm not any, I'm just me. And I think the more I stay just being this balance, the more I'm able to see the whole playing field. I think when people go over and lean to a side, it's hard for you people to see the whole balance, the whole battlefield. For example, let's say like, you know, I was watching the Breakfast Club the other day, and you can see how far towards the Democratic side they are, and because they're so lean toward the Democratic side. Or I was watching Fox the other day, and you can see how far right they're lean towards the Republican side, and because they lean towards the Republican side so much, neither one of them can see the middle ground. Neither one of them can see what's truly happening, and they just go and put their thing. And then what happens is that there is no consequence. And this is even in YouTube also, as content creators. There's no consequences anymore, I don't believe, for flip-flopping completely 100%. There's no consequences. Like, you can, one day, you can be completely against a quote-unquote a passport bro. One day you could be completely against a passport bro. And the next day, and you could be, oh my God, we're traveling overseas, the women overseas are better. Kind of like what happened with the dating coaches. Or you could be completely against dating coaches. And then you build a book on how to deal with women overseas, and it's like, oh, wait, it's the same thing. And this is why I say, when you go too far on one side, and this is what happened, people are consuming so much of one side that they end up being that one side and no longer can see the middle. They can no longer see the balance. That's why for me, I consider myself, you know, what's going on? Hold on a second. What's going on, Bosco? I consider myself the most balanced creator on YouTube. I don't know, that's it. Well, at least in different fields. I'm one of the most balanced creators, because on my channel, you can go down my channel, you'll see me traveling, right? But I'm not just traveling internationally. I'm traveling in the United States as well. But I'm not just traveling. I'm teaching you how I learned the deal and to raise my wealth, to my finances, to get to the places I was. And I'm not just talking about how I did it from the top, how I'm doing now, buying properties and all. I told people from the bottom how I did it, because it's a balance. I also show people, hey, I'm not just out here smashing a bunch of joints. I do have women I keep around for long periods of time that we're in some kind of, you know, relationship. Not like a boyfriend, girlfriend, but some kind of relationship. I also don't show I'm just traveling and doing all this stuff. I show people time with my kids, time with my family, with my son, with my daughter. But I think people consume so much of one thing that they just start forgetting about and lean all towards, like, all people do. All right, for example, there are people who only consume travel content on YouTube. All you consume is travel content on YouTube. and then your life at home is trash, and you stressed out, not because the situation that happened, but because all you consume is travel content, and you don't look to see all the great stuff that's happening around you while you're home. Or there are people who stay home all the time, and they don't see the world. They only see the United States, so they can't see outside of their own box. And a lot of that comes from what you consume. A lot of that comes from what you consume. You consume the same stuff every day. You can't expect a different outcome. It's insanity. We almost at my job now, y'all. But again, y'all, if you just walking in, joining the room, this is Jeep Talk episode 62. You are what you eat, or like our elders would say, what you consume, you become. Man, I started eating a little bit healthier myself. I mean, I don't really work out a lot, but I started eating healthier myself because, well, not as healthy. I still eat like fast food for lunch, but I started choosing better choices of fast food. Like I probably had Chipotle today, because I felt as though, I'm 41 now, and as you get higher in age, your body isn't as able to kick back when you eat bad food and go to sleep late and stuff like that. And now I'm having a problem when I sleep. I sleep for like 4 hours, wake up for an hour, and go back to sleep. But I'm still getting that sleep, and I'm forcing myself to get back into my sleep cycle. I was, because when I was doing the traveling recently, I've been just working extremely hard, overworking, and I was consuming everything with trying to work and not really consuming what I needed to do about the balance of getting sleep, getting proper sleep, drinking water and stuff like that all the time. So again, I started consuming more information about what I need to drink, water, how my sleep patterns should work better. And when I consumed that information, things started getting better. And I started feeling better. I started getting more sleep. I started, losing weight. Even though I'm not trying to lose weight, but it's only because I changed what I consume. When I was in Cali, Colombia, I was consuming how could I make the best live, how do you entertain, how you do this. I was consuming all that stuff, but I wasn't consuming, hey, you gotta get some sleep. And again, that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm not trying to lean towards any major side. Let me see. Metabolism slows down. Yeah, definitely when you get older, metabolism slows down. Your metabolism definitely slows down. He said I was talking Hotep Jesus podcast. Oh, from Jersey. Okay. He get onto the main point of right or left of real knowledge. I'll check it out. Like I said, I'm not against it. I'll definitely check it out. Hotep Jersey. Hotep Jesus. Oh, okay. I'll check it out again. Like I'm not again. Like a lot of times, I have time when I'm at work to just listen to podcasts and stuff because I'm driving. So a lot of time, I'll definitely check that out a little bit of it. I find new content to consume all the time, and then over time I find out if that content is worth keeping consuming, or if I don't want to spend my time on it. You know what I mean? But again, y'all, you are what you eat. You presume what you consume, whatever. And a lot of people just don't understand that. I mean, and I don't blame them. I don't look down on anybody that doesn't understand it. I just say, yo, I'll tell you, and if you want to listen, you can listen. If you don't want to listen, you won't listen. But you can't complain about the outcome if you got the information and you choose not to listen. You can't complain about the outcome if you got the information and you choose not to listen. And it wouldn't be so bad if a lot of people wasn't complaining about the outcome. Oh, this is so dead. This space is so dead. This is so wrong. There's nobody doing nothing new. This isn't this. But if you're only consuming the same type of people you watch all the time, then yes, nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to change. I was watching the video the other day. It's like, oh my God, there are no videos about this place on YouTube. There aren't a lot of videos about this place on YouTube. And I'm looking like, what? There's a million videos about this place on YouTube. You just don't consume the videos from the people who put it out there. And I think a lot of times, unfortunately, and it's going to always be, because people move so far to one side, they shut their brain off to the other side of the world. And so I'll never say there aren't any videos about places, because I Google everywhere. I Google everything. I YouTube watch videos of everything. And there's always a lot of videos about everything. There's always a lot of videos about everything. If I want to learn about Spain, I can go to Spain and find black travelers in Spain now. Now, back when I started, it wasn't like that. I just got to work. Back when I started, it wasn't like that. It wasn't as many people. But now, in 2025, bro, I can find black people in almost everywhere. Black meaning United States citizens in almost everywhere. It might not always be a girl. It might not always be a woman, rather. But I can find black people always in everywhere. I can find videos. I can find guides. I can find all this stuff. But it's easier to only consume what you know and just go with what you think based on what you consume versus then go out and get the research and consume something else that can make you sound more intelligent when you speak. And I think a lot of people, unfortunately, because they don't want to do the research, which entails consuming other content that you don't normally consume, we go out and we want to, and I'm going to include myself, even though it's not me, we go out and we'll speak ignorantly because we haven't done the research to know that what we're saying doesn't exist, exists in abundance. For example, before I went to Cuba, there were a bunch of white travelers that went there, and there were a bunch of other countries that went there. I watched them. The first black universal person I seen go to Cuba was Marwa. And like, I think it was like a week, like a month after Marwa, I went. If I was to say there's nobody going to Cuba, I would be wrong. Because I saw a bunch of white American travelers there. I saw a bunch of Canadians going to Cuba because I did the research when I went to look for it. I saw Marwa going because I was doing the research, and I finally found somebody who was the same complexion, not from the same areas, two different, black and African are different. So I seen some people. So I can never say that it was nobody making videos, because there wasn't a lot. But now, what? You got Keenan Lambert, you got me, you got the homie Boston Hart, you got, it's just a bunch of people I know, I've seen. I don't know their names. Travel something. You got Travelmatic that been there. You got all these people that I've seen. And if I was to just say that, yo, there's not a lot of Cuba videos, I would be wrong, because it's too much information out there. It's just too much information to research. But you are what you consume. And if you don't consume that side of a niche or that side of the world, then you can't go out and say that it's not enough for something. People say there's not enough black people talking about wealth, black people talking about business. There are. Maybe not in this community, in certain communities, travel communities, but there are. And the biggest thing I would say is, yo, people have to consume more varieties of stuff and not just whatever they consume, because you are what you consume. So if you wake up every morning and what you consume is men talking about other men, women talking about other women, then you can't be upset when you say there's not enough other content, if that's what you do. It's your boy FRE, and there's nothing wrong with writing. I'm just going to work. There's your boy FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. And I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace.